Welcome to Agriculture Vidya. Today I will explain about most important objective type questions on fundamentals of agricultural economics. This course will come in first semester of AGBSE. That is course number is AECO 141. Title is Fundamentals of Economics or Fundamentals of Agricultural Economics. This is the second video. First 50 bits I have released in first part 1. This is another 50 more important questions on fundamentals of economics. This is the part 2. Value expressed in monetary terms is price. Value expressed in monetary terms is price. Nowadays, value and price both are same. In olden days, nowadays both are different. In olden days, both are same because goods are exchanged for another goods. That means value and price both are same. Nowadays, both are different. Suppose goods are exchanged for another goods, that is known as barter system. Dash means anything which has value, wealth. Dash means anything which has value, wealth. All money is wealth, but all wealth is not money. All money is wealth, but all wealth is not money. Wealth yields income. Wealth yields dash income. Dash wealth consists of all tangible and intangible positions of the individuals besides loans to them. Loans are also included. That is individual wealth. Individual wealth. Railways, public parks, government colleges are comes under dash wealth. Social wealth. Railways, public parks, government colleges are comes under dash wealth, social wealth. In this also loans are included. Dash wealth is that form of the wealth in the form of title deeds. That is in the form of title deeds. That is representative wealth. Rivers, mountains are comes under dash wealth, national wealth. Rivers, mountains are comes under dash wealth, national wealth. Whereas in the case of national wealth, loans are not included. Loans are excluded. In the case of social wealth, loans are included. Social wealth and national wealth are same, but in case of social wealth, loans are included. In the case of national wealth, loans are excluded. Dash wealth is wealth of the whole world. That is cosmopolitan wealth. Dash wealth is the sum of total wealth of all nations. That is cosmopolitan wealth. Dash wealth refers to the exclusive debts owed by individuals and the nation. Negative wealth. Negative wealth relates to debts and loans. Wealth is the means to an end, whereas dash is an end itself. Welfare. Wealth is means to an end, welfare is an end itself. The means to an end means it is hypothetical, it is a realistic one. End itself means realistic. Already done, this has to be done. Wealth is related to objective, whereas welfare is related to subjective. Wealth is related to dash objective, whereas welfare is related to subjective. Free goods are having value in use, whereas economic goods are having value in exchange. Free goods are having value in use, economic goods are having value in exchange. In economics, value in exchange is very much important one. LDMU stands for Law of Diminishing Marginal Utility. LDMU stands for Law of Diminishing Marginal Utility. LUMU stands for Law of Equimarginal Utility. LUME stands for Law of equimarginal utility. CS stands for consumer surplus. LWMU first given by H.S. Gosen in 1854. LWMU first given by H.S. Gosen in 1854. Dash is the addition to the total utility by the consumption of the last unit considered just worthwhile. That is marginal utility. Marginal utility is also called as nothing but the difference between total utility minus total utility of the preceding unit. Total utility of the A minus total utility of the A minus 1. That is total utility of the A minus total utility of A minus 1. Marginal utility of A unit is total utility of A minus total utility of the A minus 1. Dash is the sum total of utilities, that is sum of the total utilities obtained by the consumer from consumption of different units of commodity. That is total utility. Sum of total utilities means total utilities. What are the exceptions of LDMU? Hobbies, drunkards, measure and books. Hobbies, drunkards, measure and books are the exceptions of LDMU. That is law of diminishing marginal utilities. What is law of diminishing marginal utility? Our consumption is goes on increasing, marginal utility diminishes. But in case of hobbies, consumption is goes on increasing, that is marginal utility increases. Hobbies means coin collection is a hobby. We are getting more and more coins, our marginal utility increases in case of hobbies instead of diminishing. So that comes under exception. Drunkards, he is consuming more and more alcohol, his satisfaction is increasing and his marginal utility is also increasing. That means exception of LDMU, measure is there. By getting more and more money, his greed increases, his satisfaction increases, his marginal utility increases. That also comes under the exception of LDMU. Books. By reading books, our knowledge will increase. That means marginal utility or satisfaction is increasing. So it comes under exception of LDMU. The principle of equimarginal utility occupies an important place in the cardinal utility analysis. LUMU is based on cardinal utility analysis, whereas indifference color analysis is based on ordinal utility analysis. Cardinal utility analysis means this is related to quantitative things, it can be measurable, whereas ordinal utility means it is related to qualitative things, it cannot be measurable. According to LEMU, a consumer is in equilibrium when he distributes his given money income among the various goods in such a way that dash derived from the last rupee spent on each good is the same. Dash derived from the last rupee spent on each good is the same. That is marginal utility. Marginal utility is same. That's why it is called as law of equimarginal utility. Equimarginal utility. A consumer will be in equilibrium with a single commodity, that is mu to the power of x is equal to price of x commodity. Marginal utility of the x commodity is equals to price of x commodity. The consumer will maximize the total utility from his given income when the utility from the last rupees spent on each good is the same. Marginal utility in all uses is the same. Algebraically, this is marginal utility of A by PA is equals to marginal utility of B by PB equals to marginal utility of the C by PC is equals to marginal u to the power of u marginal utility of N by Pn. Whereas in case of single commodity, marginal utility of the X is equals to Px. In case of more commodities, that is MUA by PA is equals to MUB by PB is equals to MUC by PC is equals to MUN by PN. LEMU, law of equimarginal utility, is also named as the law of substitution, law of maximum satisfaction, law of indifference, proportionate rule, and the Gauss's second law. Law of substitution, law of maximum satisfaction, law of indifference, proportionate rule, and Gauss's second law. LUME is also known as law of maximum satisfaction. Why it is called as law of maximum satisfaction? Because a consumer tries to get the maximum satisfaction from his limited resources. LUMU is called as law of maximum satisfaction because consumer tries to get the maximum satisfaction from his limited resources. LUME is also known as law of substitution. Why it is called as law of substitution? Because consumer continues substituting one good for another till he gets the maximum satisfaction. So it is called as law of substitution. LUMU is also called the law of indifference. Why it is called as law of indifference curve? Why LUM is called as law of indifference curve? That is because the maximum satisfaction has been achieved by equating the marginal utility. Equating the marginal utility in all the uses. Equating the marginal utility in all the uses. That is law of indifference. The concept of consumer surplus is based on the theory of demand. The concept of consumer surplus is based on the theory of demand. The concept of consumer surplus is given by Marshall in 1895 in his publication Principles of Economics. Marshall in 1895 in his publication Principles of Economics. Consumer surplus is the difference between consumer is willing to pay, what the consumer is willing to pay, and what he actually pays. CS is equals to what the consumer is willing to pay and what he actually pays. Consumer surplus is also nothing but the difference between total utility and marginal utility. CS is difference between what the consumer is willing to pay and what he actually pays. And that is the difference between total utility and marginal utility also. Indifference curve analysis is based on ordinal approach. Law of equimarginal utility is based on cardinal approach. Indifference curve analysis is based on ordinal approach. The concept of indifference curve technique deals with only two commodities. Concept of indifference curve technique deals with only two commodities. Indifference curve technique was given by J.R. Hicks. The concept of indifference curve technique was given by J.R. Hicks. The shape of the price line or budget line is straight line to origin. The shape of the price line or budget line is straight line to the origin. The point of maximum satisfaction is the point of maximum satisfaction in consuming two commodities is when marginal rate of substitution or marginal rate of technical substitution of commodity is dash equal to the price level, that is inversely is equals to the price level at the time of maximum satisfaction. MRTS is equals to, that is inversely is equal to price level. The excess of income over consumption is called savings. The excess of income over consumption is called savings. Dash is a tabular representation of the quantity demanded of a commodity at various prices. That is demand schedule. Dash is a tabular representation of the quantity demanded of a commodity at various prices. That is demand schedule. Dash is a diagrammatic representation of demand schedule, that is demand curve. Dash is a diagrammatic representation of demand schedule, that is demand curve. Dash refers to demand for goods which are needed for further production, that is derived demand or indirect demand. Dash refers to demand for goods which are needed for further production. That means produced goods are having the demand. Direct goods are not having the demand. Commodities produce something that produced goods are having demand. That is derived demand. Dash is independent of other product or main product. Autonomous demand. Dash is independent of the other product or main product, that is autonomous demand. That means direct good or commodity is directly having the demand. That means autonomous demand. Dash demand refers to various quantities of the goods or services that consumer would be willing to purchase at all possible prices in a given market in a given point of time. Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means all other things being equal. Ceteris paribus means all other things being equal. Price demand means at all possible prices. At all possible prices. Whereas price demand, income demand, cost demand, definitions all are same. But at all possible prices is comes under price demand. At different levels of the income is comes under income demand. At price level of not that good, prices of the other related commodity, that is change in the prices of not that commodity, change in the prices of other related commodities comes under cross demand, that is price demand, income demand, cross demand. Law of demand. Law of demand. The law of demand states that demand for a commodity varies inversely with the price. That means law of demand means, that is demand is inversely proportional to the price. Demand increases, price decreases. Demand decreases, price increases. Demand is inversely proportional to the price. That is law of demand. The slope of the demand curve is convex to the origin. Generally, slope of the demand curve is convex to the origin. Whereas given goods, if the price of the in case of given goods, price of the commodity increases, demand for commodity is also is increased. That means whereas generally demand increases, price decreases, price increases, demand decreases, but in case of given goods, price increases, demand is also increases. Price increases, demand is also increases. Thank you.